What's up, guys? It's Kid Conservative here, back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about what's been going on with the Price is Right and how they donated like $100,000 to Planned Parenthood the other day. They held like it was like a live stream the other day or the other night, and it was called The Price is Right at Night, and they raised like $100,000 for Planned Parenthood. And I wanted to make this video because it's like, okay, so there's two reasons why I think that this was just the dumbest thing that they could have ever done. One, because first of all, Planned Parenthood is responsible for the death of 300,000 babies a year, which is just impeccable. And two, they already make so much money as it is. They make billions of dollars a year. One, because of performing all these abortions, and two, because the government funds them. They give them like $500 million a year, which is more than enough. And it's just first of all, $100,000, like that is nothing to what they're used to getting. Like that's not even going to make a dent in their business. And I think that you could have raised that money for something way better. Like, you could have raised that money for the poor Americans who are suffering throughout this pandemic, like people who are starving because they can't work, they have no money, and they can't, go places because quarantine. And like, I mean, you could have raised money for that. You could have raised money for research for COVID. Like, there's so many better things that you could have raised money for other than Planned Parenthood. I think it was a stupid idea that they raised money for this business when they already make so much money as it is, and they're like basically mass murderers because they murder so many children a year. And basically, I just wanted to say, like, it's just kind of disgusting, to be honest. I watched a video earlier, and some people want to like boycott that show. I mean, I don't watch that show anyways. Like, I don't really like those types of shows. But I think that might be like a good idea, just because like that's kind of disgusting. I mean, you don't get to like kill babies, like, and funding that is just kind of like, why are you doing that? Like, it's just so nasty. And unfortunately, people like the people who are pro-choice, they don't quite understand like what happens in an abortion. Like, they don't understand that is taking a human life. They think that it's just, oh, it's a clump of cells and my body, my choice. But in reality, in reality, it's so much more than that. It's the taking the life of a human being. Like, yeah, they're not born yet, but it's still a unique human life, human being that has a unique genetic code, and you can't just kill it because it's convenient to you. Now, me personally, I think there are exceptions, like if the mother is at risk of, dying or something like that, if she were to give birth, or if the pregnancy happened because of, rape or incest. But abortions that happen, they only, like, rape and incest and all that, like, rape and incest accounts for less than 1% of the abortions that take place. And you can't like, that's not an argument. Like, whenever like a pro-lifer makes the argument that, like, you shouldn't kill a life, you shouldn't be able to, just take a human life because it's convenient to you. And an argument on the other side would, like, a lot of times would be, oh, well, what if the mother was raped, or it was incest, or she was at risk of dying? It's like, well, that takes up 1%, like less than 1% of abortion, so that's not really an applicable argument. Like, it's really like, of course it happens, and of course there should be exceptions, for things like that, but there's no reason why, obviously if you don't have enough money to support the child, then put it up for adoption. It's really not that hard. Just because the child might have a harder life doesn't mean you should just end its life. Like, that's not at all fair to that child. Like, a lot of people have hard lives. Does that mean we should just kill them? That's just a stupid argument. I mean, you know, it's and then there's also a lot of people are saying, like, oh, well, you don't want us to get abortions, and you don't, like, you want to defund Planned Parenthood, but then you don't care about what happens to the child after birth. No, that's not true, actually. A lot of us conservatives are in favor of defunding Planned Parenthood and putting more funding into adoption agencies and stuff like that. Like, make it a lot more easy for adoption to happen. And because to AmericanAdoptions.com, there are 36 couples per one child, like, which means that for every one child in an adoption agency, there are 36 couples waiting to adopt that one child, which is a crazy statistic. So if we were to defund Planned Parenthood and then put more funding into these adoption agencies, it would make things much easier for these couples to actually get a kid. And there would be very much less abortions, which is good. Obviously, except for those, you know, exceptions, the less than 1%. You know, so obviously, I'm not saying you got to get rid of Planned Parenthood, because they are important to an extent, except for, you know, abortions and except for, you know, them selling body parts. But they do some important things, so they should still exist, but they should be very limited on the abortions that they do, and they should, you know, be held accountable for the fact that they sell body parts. And that's just what I think. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you disagree, obviously you can comment, and, you know, we can have a discussion. I'll try to reply. But a lot of times YouTube doesn't let me reply to comments. I'm not exactly sure why. But anyways, if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on that bell notification, you know the rest. And thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.